Today, I want to be explaining to you why you need a solo 401k. Solo 401k is amazing for a very simple reason. The fact they can contribute up to $69,000 into this account. So let's go over how exactly that works. A solo 401k allows the employee, which is you, to contribute up to $23,000 per year. This is very similar to all retirement accounts. But what's an interesting thing is that it also allows a company match component. So you can contribute an additional $46,000 towards this solo 401k. And this adds up to $69,000 in total. This is one of the highest contribution amounts, and it can really benefit you and speeds up your journey towards retirement. So let's go over some of the mechanics. So here in the center, we have our new solo 401k account. You as the owner of the account is also the employee of your own company. This means that you can contribute up to $23,000 a year in this 401k. Now, as the owner of this company, you can additionally contribute 20 or 25% of your earnings also towards this 401k. And together, you can really save up a lot of money. And of course, you can roll over your previously existing 401k as well. Now, let's go over an example. So in our example, Ashley, who is 51, earned $50,000 from her 401k W-2 wage account in 2023. So Ashley, because she is over the age of 50, she is allowed by the IRS to contribute an additional catch-up contribution. In this case, let's say Ashley contributes $7,000 on top of her regular $19,500 of elections. Now, because she runs her own company and she is the solo employee of this business, she's allowed to defer 25% of her company earnings towards this 401k, which is $12,500. Now, all this added up, Ashley is able to save $38,500. Now, this is a great amount. Let's go over a bit about what are the requirements for a solo 401k. Now, in order to have a solo 401k, you must be self-employed. So you and your spouse can both work in the business, but you can't have any other W-2 employees, so full-time employees. And what's really interesting is that the IRS, as long as you have a profit motive, they don't care how much you earned, they don't care how much you worked, everything goes. So I think the solo 401k really makes sense for a business owner who is also their sole employee. It allows for a spousal contribution, which is optimal for someone who's self-employed, whose spouse might also, lack a retirement plan. And lastly, as with all 401k accounts, there is something called a 401k loan, which really helps if you need an emergency fund. In the 401k loan, you can take out about $50,000 as a loan against yourself, or about half of the account balance. Now, there are two types of solo 401k accounts. The first type is your traditional retirement account. What this means is that you can invest in stocks, you can invest in bonds, you can do ETFs, you can do mutual funds. It's very similar to a traditional company 401k. If you're on the more adventure side, you can also choose to open a self-directed solo 401k. What it means by being self-directed is that you can invest your money into an alternative set of assets. So for my solo401k.net, we can see that we can invest in real estate. We can invest in promissory notes. We could be doing tax liens. We can be doing cryptocurrencies. The sky's the limit as long as you can show a profit motive. And here I want to go over a few typical solo 401k providers. These are going to be your normal E-Trade, your Fidelity, your Vanguard, your Schwab. You can see from here that there's many different options to choose from, and they have various different types of fees that are involved. I want to go over a bit about my experience as someone who owns and operates a self-directed solo 401k. I opened up mine from my solo401k.net. Now, it costs a bit more to open up such an account because you are doing this retirement account as a custodian. The typical cost is going to be about $500 in the first year and about $125 a year following. Solo401k.net helps me, and it could help you do a lot of the tax forms. And you can go over about how the fees work on this webpage. I'll make sure to include it on the show notes. For me, my self-employment income comes from dog sitting for friends and family. And this qualifies for work because I can show the IRS that I have a profit motive. And I have it as a sole proprietorship. And during tax time, I will be filing a Schedule C to show my income and expenses. Please note that if I ever stop dog sitting for people completely, I will need to roll over my solo 401k into a self-directed IRA. And the reason is because I'm no longer producing active income from this business. Now, there's many different things that we could be investing over in a solo 401k. As I've shared earlier, there's many different types of investments with their pros and cons and with their risks. Please feel free to check out this website called mysolo401k.net. What's really interesting is that you could be investing your money into a real estate syndication fund, something maybe like Better Capital Fund, for instance, where we help you invest your money into hard money loans that a lot of the people are taking out as a business loan to flip properties and to improve these properties for profit. You typically want to invest in something that could be taxed as ordinary income. This is because normally when you gain interest or when you gain a dividend, you have to pay a lot of taxes. What's powerful about a retirement account is that you wouldn't be paying these taxes. Please also note that not all sponsors will accept retirement funds because there are additional regulations for them to do so.